Michigan abortion providers say they're getting calls from more and more people who live out of state. For now, abortions in Michigan are still legal, unlike some other nearby states.
That could change at any minute, though. News Channel 3 political reporter Rachel Louise Just tells us how people are looking at Michigan as a temporary safe haven state.
Michigan, at least for now, is a destination for abortion care after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
We have seen an increase of patients calling and making appointments from out of state, looking for somewhere to get care.
Since the decision came down Friday, Planned Parenthood of Michigan says it's seen twice the number of calls, and requests for abortion appointments have gone up by 50%.
We're not sure if how long this will continue into the future, if it could rise higher or level out, but we are working to ensure we can serve as many people as possible.
Brent Hayer protested outside of a Lansing Planned Parenthood clinic today, saying he's glad to see Roe overturned and he hopes more states will restrict abortion access.
We're praying for each state that that their lawmakers and legislators do God's will and choose life for the babies.
Outside of Illinois, Michigan is one of the only states in the Midwest that does have abortion access for the foreseeable future. Abortion is still legal in Indiana, but given the state's political makeup, abortion rights advocates say it's likely that'll change. Ohio was one of the first states to ban abortion after Roe fell, up to 6 weeks before most people know they're pregnant. Wisconsin abortion clinics canceled appointments within hours of the Supreme Court decision because a nearly 200-year-old ban went back into effect.
We also have seen some patients traveling from states like Oklahoma or Wisconsin, even before the Supreme Court decision. It really depends on each patient. Some people have family here. Some people may have been able to get a flight here.
Communications Director for Planned Parenthood of Michigan, Ashley Fennessy, says she doesn't have a number on how long the wait is to get an abortion in Michigan right now, but she does say that Planned Parenthood has been preparing for an influx in appointments.
For this, we have hired additional staff and reworked some of our policies and procedures to try to accommodate for as many patients as possible.
Michigan could lose access to its abortion rights if a court of claims injunction is overturned. There's multiple lawsuits that have to do with Michigan's access to abortion at play in the court system right now. It's just a waiting game to see what happens next.
At least one county prosecutor here in West Michigan plans to enforce Michigan's 1931 ban on most abortion procedures. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker says, quote, there is a validly passed statute which has been upheld by the Court of Appeals in the past, and I will not turn a blind eye and ignore it. Becker goes on to say that there are 2 court filings now at different stages in the system that seek to challenge the enforcement of the statute. He says, I await decisions in those cases to guide my actions. Tonight, healthcare workers say that Michigan families are facing life or death decisions when it comes to their health care.
News Channel 3 political reporter Rachel Louise Just breaks down the dilemma now facing pregnant women and their doctors.
Abortion rights hang in the balance in Michigan, where doctors are preparing to face complex legal issues when it comes to taking care of their patients.
We're physicians. Our job is taking care of our patients. It's not, interpreting the law.
Right now, a state court injunction is all that's stopping a 1931 law from going back into effect. That law bans almost all abortions in the state, and that injunction could get struck down at any time, opening up issues for doctors who say they're just trying to keep their patients alive.
It certainly opens the door to a lot of subsequent questions and legal gray areas.
Under the 1931 law, healthcare providers would face a felony charge and 2 years in jail for helping perform an abortion, even in cases of rape or incest.
All of these laws have sort of a chilling effect on people who provide this healthcare and create a lot of fear that leads people to be hesitant.
The 91-year-old law is short on paper, only about half a page long. It says abortions can be performed if they'll save the life of the mother. What it doesn't answer is almost any of the questions doctors are now asking. Does it have to be a 100% chance of death? How close does the mother have to be to dying? Is 30 or 50% chance of death enough to start a procedure?
There's just a lot of confusion, across states, within states, about about laws.
Attorney General Dana Nessel clarifies today that anyone providing abortion care in Michigan right now cannot be prosecuted because of the injunction on the abortion ban. That decision by the Court of Claims, though, is not being upheld by at least one Republican prosecutor in Michigan. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker today announced he would still prosecute abortion providers, upholding the 1931 law anyway. In Kent County, and if the injunction is overturned in every Michigan county, doctors say they'll now be forced to weigh their patient's life and their own fears of prosecution.
In either way, we're being threatened with incarceration for doing the right thing for our patients.
In Lansing, Rachel Louise Just.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer is also urging the Michigan Supreme Court to step in and answer the question once and for all on whether Michiganders should have the right to abortion. Whitmer sent a notice to the court today asking them to immediately consider her lawsuit on if abortion is protected under the state constitution. People arrested in Kalamazoo are accused of vandalizing two downtown businesses.
At one of those businesses, a coffee shop owned by Radiant Church. Tonight, News Channel 3's Mike Kravsik is joining us outside of the coffee shop on the mall. And as of hours ago, Mike, crews were still there removing that graffiti.
Yeah, Andy and Erica, and they didn't quite get all of it. You could see some fragments, some chips of this red paint still on the front door. Tonight, police say it's unclear if the graffiti is connected to the U.S. Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. That's the reason one church member tells me he believes the vandals hit this area. In the red graffiti, the word shame is plastered across the front entrance of Matchhead, the coffee shop on the Kalamazoo Mall owned by Radiant Church. Police say the same exact message was found at a nearby restaurant, the Grazing Table. In a social media post, owners there say they believe they were hit because of social media rumors that they were owned by Radiant Church. The church's lead pastor, Lee Cummins, applauded Friday's U.S. Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Again, police say the church's stance on abortion may or may not have been the reason behind the vandalism. KDPS says the three suspects in this incident were all or living outside the city of Kalamazoo. And according to court records yet, those suspects have not been charged.